Well, thank you all very much. It's great to have you here, and we have a very special person. He just won a tremendous election in record fashion, so you have something in common. And I was very proud and honored to support the Prime Minister because I thought she was really good. I thought she did a fantastic job. I respect her a lot. That's why I gave her my support. And in my opinion, she had the most successful election in Japan's history, winning like never before. So we have a very popular, powerful woman, and she is a great woman. We have a very good relationship, and we will discuss trade and many other important topics. And to have her here. Muito obrigado.
And for exactly that reason, I would like to work together with other countries and give them my strongest support. And regarding Iran, the development of nuclear weapons is really something that cannot be allowed. Japan must also act in this regard. In addition, our country has condemned attacks against neighboring countries and the effective closure of the Strait of Hormuz. And the Foreign Minister Motegi also expressed to the Iranian Foreign Minister that this is not acceptable and asked them to stop these actions immediately. Anyway, it's not just in the Middle East, but also in the Indo-Pacific that the security environment is extremely severe. Even so, we are grateful for the fact that the United States places deep trust in Japan and remains committed to an unshakable alliance. Today, I would like to discuss how Japan and the United States can become stronger and more prosperous together. In addition, he also presented new proposals to stabilize the global energy market.
Next, I would like to discuss, mainly with the Director of Economic Security, critical minerals, energy-related cooperation, and talks to strengthen our economies and promote mutual economic growth.
Thank you very much. You are doing a great job, and once again, congratulations on the biggest victory in Japan's history. That's not bad. That's quite a long history. It's a great nation with a real law, with a big reputation, but it's a gigantic victory. Congratulations to everyone. Very proud of you, very proud of you. We became friends, and I'm very proud of the work you did. It's really not easy. Do you have any questions for Mr. President?
Mr. President, are you satisfied with the level of support you received from Japan, including emergency aid?
Well, we will talk about that today. Go ahead, go right ahead.
Regarding support from Japan, like in the case of the Hirai store, are you satisfied with the current situation in that regard?
Thank you. What we are doing, let's talk more about that today. We have had tremendous support and a great relationship with Japan in everything. And I believe that based on the statements that were given to us yesterday and the day before related to Japan, they are really taking responsibility. Yes, Mr. President, yes.
I believe that we are also receiving truly wonderful support. From the comment the day before yesterday, I believe we received a very strong message from Japan.
In a way different from NATO.
It's completely different from NATO.
Please, yes.
Mr. President, you intend to lift the sanctions on Iranian oil, and you possibly intend to send more American troops to the region.
No, I'm not going to send troops anywhere. If I were going to send them, I certainly wouldn't tell you, but I'm not going to send troops. And we will do whatever is necessary to keep the price as low as possible. In fact, that's what I thought when I did it. Look, the Dow Jones just hit 50,000 a few weeks ago. They said it wouldn't happen for 4 years, that it wouldn't happen during my term. It's so absurd because I said it would happen. I didn't know it would happen so fast, but it just hit 50. And we did it in 1 year, not in 4. The S&P just hit 7,000. They said that was even more impossible than the Dow hitting 50, and we did it in 1 year. It's all done, and it's all very good. And the economy was great. Oil prices were low. Gas prices dropped, getting down to $1.99, $1.85. Everything was great, and I saw what was happening in Iran. And I said, I really hate to make this incursion, but we're going to have to do it. And actually, I thought the numbers would be worse. I thought it would go up more than it did. But we're making this incursion, and when it's done, we'll have a much safer world. And the Prime Minister agrees with me on that. He thinks it's terrible. What are they involved in? I think the whole country feels that way. Almost the whole country feels that way. Iran is a serious threat to the Middle East and to the world. And everyone agrees with me. I think practically every country agrees with me on that. So I wanted to put out that fire, and I said, we do this. Oil prices will go up, the economy will take a bit of a hit. I thought it would be worse, much worse actually. I thought there was a chance it could be much worse. It's not bad, this will be over soon. We obliterated the Navy, we obliterated pretty much everything there was to obliterate, including the leadership. Their Navy is gone, their Air Force is gone, their anti-aircraft equipment is gone. We're flying wherever we want. There's no one even shooting at us. They have, and as you know, their leadership is gone. Their leaders are finished. They choose new leaders, they're finished. They choose new leaders, they're finished. Now they're looking for new leaders again. We can destroy the island anytime we want. I call it the Little Oil Island, which is right there, totally unprotected. We destroyed everything except the pipelines. We left the pipelines because rebuilding them would take years for them, to get it done. But we are, I would say, substantially ahead of schedule. And I had to do that. I call it an excursion. I made this little excursion, and it's something that no other president had the courage to do. Everyone wanted to, but they didn't use it, and I don't blame them. I don't blame them. It was left to me, and we did a good job. The military is incredible. We have an incredible military. We have by far the strongest military in the world. We have by far the best equipment in the world. In fact, Japan buys our equipment, buys a lot of it, and that honors us, and that's one of the topics we'll address. They want to buy a lot of military equipment. It's an honor to have the Prime Minister here. We've had an excellent relationship. Okay, President?
Mr. President?
I think she will have to go first before you. All right, you understand? It's very good. I'm telling you, it's so good that we don't need to do this. No, it's very good. I haven't learned your language yet, so next time you come, I'll have your language ready.
Did the Pentagon really officially commit to allocating an additional amount of more than $200 billion in resources for this purpose?
Well, we're asking for many reasons, even beyond what we're talking about regarding Iran. This is a world that has become extremely volatile, and military equipment, as well as its power, some of this weaponry, is unimaginable. You don't even want to know about it. You could end this in 2 seconds if you wanted to, but we're being very careful, but we want to do it. Don't forget, Biden handed over. I rebuilt the armed forces during my first term. Biden handed it over so stupidly to Afghanistan. A lot of things. He didn't want to move that. He was too lazy, too dumb to move that. It was a very small amount. It was a lot, but it was very little compared to what I bought and what I built. We want to have large amounts of ammunition like we have now. We have a lot of ammunition, but it has been reduced because we gave so much to Ukraine. They gave a lot. Biden gave $350 billion in military aid to Ukraine and didn't rebuild anything. We have a lot. We have an unlimited stockpile of mid-level and high-level weaponry. And military equipment, ammunition, weaponry, but ammunition in particular at the top, we have a lot, but we are preserving it. Actually, we don't need it, but we are building it. Our military equipment manufacturers are producing at a level they've never seen before. They've never done this before. Pete is in charge of this with all of us, actually, but Pat has been very, very firm on this, the general, Pete, myself, the whole group. And Raytheon is building 4 factories. Lockheed is building 5 or 6 factories. They're building fast. After our tough meeting, they spent $51 billion buying back shares in one of the cases. Now they're forbidden from doing that, and now they're creating something incredible. We've never seen anything like what's happening now. We're doing very well, we really are. We want the best shape of all. That's how we were when we rebuilt the armed forces in great shape. Then Biden messed everything up and did nothing. He didn't build, he didn't do anything. And if you listen to the Democrats, they don't even want to have armed forces. Now you see how important this is, but we have the strongest armed forces in the world. We make by far the best equipment. The other night, 114 rockets were fired at a certain location, and out of 100 highly sophisticated rockets, out of a total of 114 sophisticated rockets, all of them were shot down. With our equipment, all our equipment is impressive actually, how good it is, so we want to make sure. It's a small price to pay to ensure we stay on top. President?
The individual in question, the Secretary of the Treasury, said today that Iranian leaders have defected. You know that, and they know it.
What is it? Well, we have here a man named Secretary of the Treasury, so maybe he wants to discuss the matter. Does anyone know? Tell me something. Do you happen to know who he is? He is Cassidy Central.
Therefore, we are seeing the infection at all levels, and we are starting to realize what is happening with the regime. This is not reported here in Zua. Very well, but we follow them from the air and the regime should collapse on its own. At the Treasury, we saw where they transfer the money out of the country. Let's go after it. Let's return it to the Iranian people.
And you're seeing defections over Israel. There are many military defections as well. You have a lot of military defections in Iran. I don't blame them.
Thank you. President, have you spoken with Prime Minister Netanyahu about attacking oil and gas fields?
Yes, I talked to him. I said, don't do it. He replied, we will. We didn't argue. You know, we do things. We're independent. We get along very well. It's coordinated. But every now and then he does something I don't like. So we're not doing that anymore.
And the last one, if I may, the chairman of the Federal Reserve told me he intends to stay until the new chairman is confirmed. He also intends to stay on the board until the investigation into the Fed is concluded.
He is under investigation because he is building a building for hundreds of billions above the expected cost. The building over there is under budget and ahead of schedule. That one is the ballroom. The ballroom is a much bigger building. It's a much more complex building than the one he's working on, and it costs a fraction of the price. Something is going on, whether it's with the contractors, that's what I do best. I build big buildings, I've always done that. I deliver them under budget and ahead of schedule. They could cost $4 billion, it's a $4 billion renovation. And if you look at the building, I don't even know if Kevin Walsh will ever be able to move in there. It's been under construction for years. It's the most expensive building ever built. Well, I know that's blatant incompetence. Today, without a doubt, you should be lowering interest rates, of course. Who wouldn't lower them? But he's stubborn, and he has Trump's obsessive-compulsive disorder. But a lot of people have that, you know? It's not a curable disease. But he's also building. He should be lowering the rates immediately, but he's not going to do that because he's a stubborn and incompetent person, and that's bad. You know, when you're stubborn and incompetent, I think that's the worst combination, and he's also not a smart person. But he's currently building a complex over there, which is under his jurisdiction. He started it, and now it's out of control. It's billions of dollars for a small building. I could have built that building and made it beautiful for $25 million, $25 million, and it would have looked beautiful. Look at what I did at the White House, renovating, and I mean, the place was in terrible shape. You saw the floors and everything. It was in terrible shape. I could have made that building beautiful for $25 million. They're spending $4 billion. All right, so yeah, there is crime. Maybe it's with the contractor, but because I know more about contractors than any human being, maybe, who has ever lived. But this contractor is a very rich man, whoever the contractor is, and we know, but whoever it is, he's an extremely wealthy man. He's gonna he could make millions of dollars. I'm not hearing numbers like $3 to $4 million. That would make it the most expensive building per square meter ever built in history, and you're not even building a building. It's a renovation. The exterior facade will remain, the steel will remain, the structure. So, all I want is to show the public that this guy is incompetent. He's a very incompetent guy, and he might be a dishonest guy, but someone is being dishonest. Because there's no way that building costs $3 to $4 billion, right?
Mr. President,
In simple and direct terms, Mr. President, please.
Mr. President, you mentioned that Japan is...
This person seems to be one of yours, isn't he?
Yes, thank you.
Is he good or bad? Thank you. Good reporter or bad reporter? And what is he like? He's almost nothing. It's all right. He seems to be a very nice guy. Go ahead.
President, you just mentioned that Japan is taking a step forward. I see. What kind of support do you expect Japan to offer from now on, in the future?
I hope that Japan will take on a bigger role because we have this relationship and we also support Japan. We have 45,000 soldiers in Japan. We spend a lot of money on Japan, so it's always been like that between us. So I hope it doesn't surprise me that they want to take on a bigger role. We don't really need anything. We don't need Japan or anyone else, but it's only fair that they take on their responsibilities. In Japan's case, I heard that they get more than 90% of their oil through the strait. So that's a big reason to take action. I mean, we destroyed that country. It's one that should have been destroyed. The only thing is the strait. It's very difficult. You could take two people and they could throw small bombs in the water and they'd be stopping things. We don't want that to happen, but honestly, Japan, China, Europe, parts of Europe, they managed to transport a large part of the oil through the strait. In practice, we get nothing. We're less than 1%. We don't need to be a specific percentage. I think we do it just to be nice, but come to think of it, we don't use the strait. We're defending the strait for everyone else. And in the case of NATO, they don't want to help us defend the strait, and they're the ones who need that help. But now they're getting much friendlier because they're seeing my stance. They're getting much friendlier. But for me, it's already too late. As you may know, the United Kingdom now plans to send its aircraft carriers. I said I want the aircraft carriers before the war. I don't want them after the war is won. They want to send me aircraft carriers after the war is won. Basically, there's no one left to shoot at them. Their missile stock is very low, down by 90%. The number of drones has dropped a lot, and the factories are being demolished.
Yes, sir. Missile launches have dropped by more than 90% since the beginning. Attack drones have also decreased by 90%, showing overwhelming firepower. But you mentioned the main point, President, their defense base. If you can't produce more in the future, the supply is limited. That's why we're going after the defense contractors of their advanced weapons, making sure that even if they want to rebuild launchers or missiles, they won't be able to in the future. It's a military devastation they've never seen before.
So, in literally 2 weeks, we demolished their Navy, their Air Force, all their technology disappeared, all communication was cut off, and all the leaders were taken out because of this. They're doing really well, right? How about that? One more question for the Prime Minister. Allow me to choose a beautiful person among the most beautiful and elegant people in all of Japan. Now, I have a question for the Prime Minister. Let's get to it right away.
Over there, further ahead.
Don't you believe in music? He shouts in the chat. Go ahead.
Of course. Now, Japan and the US are very close allies. But an important question. Why exactly didn't you warn the allies in Europe and Asia, like Japan, about the war before attacking Iran? That's why we're very confused, we Japanese.
Citizens, you don't want to signal too much, you know? When we go in for real and we don't tell anyone, because we wanted it to be a surprise. Who understands surprises better than Japan? Why didn't you tell me about Pearl Harbor? Okay, right? He's asking me, now do you believe in surprises? I think much more than us. And we had a surprise and we made it. And thanks to that surprise, we managed to successfully complete the first 2 days. We probably wiped out 50% of what we did, and much more than we expected. If I go there and tell everyone, there won't be any more surprise, right? Okay, what? One more for the Prime Minister. Are you going to the Prime Minister? Go ahead.
Mr. Minister, I would like to know if you have a moment now so we could talk about this pending matter. No. There are several terms and criticisms for us. So, do you plan to bring up this subject? The long relationship between Japan and China?
I think we'll have a great trip. The trip was postponed for about a month and a half. It was rescheduled, and we're looking forward to it. And I will praise Japan when I'm there in China in a meeting with President Xi Jinping. But today we'll have good talks, and I think mainly about trade, because they want to do a lot of business. They're big buyers of our energy, our oil, gas, especially from Alaska. Because Alaska, believe it or not, is very close. It's much closer than any other source. It just seems a little cold compared to... It's just a short trip.
So that's something we're going to talk about.
We're going to discuss trade, and a big part of the conversation will be about energy. Thank you very much, everyone. Thank you.